made in the old sport hall in Prague. Last night, Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler, like the Jelenics 31 years ago, winning gold in the pairs event tonight. Kurt Browning will try to repeat the feat of Donald Jackson, who won gold in the men's event in 1962. With their thoughts, let's join Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini.
Well, Chris, the men's title is Kurt Browning's to lose. After two outstanding performances in the qualifying round and in the technical program, there are many who say Kurt Browning is in a league of his own. The importance of a good skate here tonight is to not only assure himself of the victory, but to establish himself as the leading contender going into the Lillehammer Olympics. But Barb, should Kurt slip up, there are a number of others who are eager to assume the title.
Well, first there's Mark Mitchell. He may not be in the same league as Kurt, technically. However, as we saw yesterday with his perfect stick, he can match style points with Kurt any day. Also, there's Alexei Urmanov, who has had a really tough year, but it appears to have rebounded tremendously. And we can never forget what Elvis Stojko is capable of. He's bound and determined to make up for those mistakes that he made yesterday, and a podium finish is still well within his reach. Now, let's go to the ice for our first Canadian competitor.
Well, Marcus Kristensen looks so cool and composed in his world debut in the technical program, placing 12th, but he let us in on a little secret afterwards. As soon as he hit the ice, the pressure of the world's kind of hit him, but here he is in 12th place, and he'd like to do what his teammate Higgins and Rice did last night in the pairs, move into the top 10 at their first Worlds.
Well, he also got pretty lucky on his draw. He said to me earlier, I never dreamed I would be skating my first World Championships. 3 skaters before Kurt Browning. He opened with a very solid triple Lutz.
Variation on a cross-foot spin. Used to be a technical requirement for the men in the technical program. You don't see many of them anymore.
That was supposed to be a triple flip, but it was a double. Marcus is probably one of the only skaters here in the competition that doesn't have a triple axel. I'm sure he's been working on it back home, but just didn't feel confident enough to put it in his program here.
Triple toe combination, and he just didn't have enough height to complete the second triple of that combination. That was a very nice triple sow double loop combination, and just prior to that combination he was to have attempted a triple loop which he doubled, and I was somewhat concerned if he would start pulling material out of the program, but it was nice to see him attack that and get it in.
Well, he has one more really difficult triple left. That's the triple Lutz.
positioning here at the Canadian Championships. Oh, talk about finding your toe picks. That's too bad. That's a fall on virtually nothing. And when you lose your thumb, he lost his concentration, got so excited about taking the program home with a good burst of speed. That almost looked like it really kind of smarted.
Well, this is not a bad performance for Marcus, but I think perhaps the performance he wanted was the one that he had in qualifying.
Well, you could see by his face at the end of that program, he realized he'd really done something which is most uncharacteristic of himself.
Well, we've all done that before. You lose your concentration right towards the end of the program, and bang, you hit a toe pick and you're down. You've done that a couple times, haven't you, Paul?
At least once. Here we see one of the finer things he did. Beautiful triple Lutz jump. And as you mentioned, Barb, if he has aspirations of really getting into this event in a serious manner, he's going to need that triple axel. As long as he keeps nice-looking stuff like this, triple toe combination, this is the one that he just didn't quite have enough height to complete.
Looks like he's got some souvenirs from Prague to take home. He's a good friend of Michael Slipchuk's, who for the last many years has been the third man on the Canadian team. And
You can try. I have a killing.
they talked a lot about what to expect here and to take it all in and let Stojko and Browning get all the attention. And it's been a good learning experience.
Yeah.
He's commenting on his hip, and I'm sure from the fall he had after tripping on his toe picks, I'm sure it does smart a little bit.
He kind of looked out of the corner of his eye at the end of the program like, I wonder if anybody noticed that fall.
I'm sure the judges did, because he went right out of their view.
Technical marks from a 5.0 from the French judge up to a 5.6 from the British judge. Pretty good technical marks for Marcus Kristensen.
Hey, Christy, Kevin. Same as last time in Prague, the split jump.
Yeah, he was third at Prague Skeet here earlier this year.
Says hello to Christy Ness's coach and Kevin Cottam, his choreographer.
Now the artistic marks, and he has a first place ordinal from the British judge, third from the American, a couple of eights from France and Russia. So the judges weren't quite sure what to make of Marcus Kristensen. And it will be interesting to see if he can move up from 12th place. We'll be back with the final group.
Scott Davis. Davis from Great Falls, Montana. A nervous fall in the technical program last night sent him down to 7th place. So he's now a long shot for the podium.
Last month, Scott won Nationals, which was beyond his wildest dreams. But with the title comes the pressure, and it was too much for him in the technical program. He fell on the same jump that he's doing right now, the triple axel. A little twizzle, but not bad.
against the Sharks. Just 21 a couple of weeks ago, a son of a high school football coach growing up in Great Falls, Montana. Same city of some 60,000 that produced former U.S. Olympian John Misha Petkovich.
And he's a cool jet. He's so much more relaxed than last night.
Trying to rally from 7th place, a remote possibility, a medal here in Prague for Scott Davis, the U.S. national champion.
You've got to remember, this is his first year. He's only 21. He's a fighter. You can see it in his eyes. He's personable. This guy's got a future.
Program athletic Scott Davis has set the tone. The men skate for world gold. The rest of the top contenders coming up.
Jumps about fast rotating and slow rotating. Now, you're a very quick rotator, yet you appeared to double out a couple of triples.
Yeah, I doubled out on the triple flip and triple loop. The only reason is my shoulders got a little ahead of me, and as soon as your shoulders start turning above the waist, there's no way you can do a triple. You just can't hold on.
Now, you just told me an interesting story. I said, were you surprised when you fell at the end? And you said no. Tell me why.
I never fallen a Russian split jump. Last time I was in Prague 4 months ago, exact same thing happened. I should have known better. Get my picks out from under me quicker.
All right, up and down program, good effort.
Oh, thanks a lot, Brian.
Marcus Kristensen trains at Royal Glenora in Edmonton, is from Toronto. Chris, let's go back to you. Thank you, Brian. In third place after the technical program from Russia, here is Alexei Urmanov. When I spoke to his coach after the technical program, he said Alexei can skate better. And I said, but what about conditioning? He's had trouble with that in Helsinki. He said the biggest problem is the lack of food that they have in Russia. Nutrition has been part of the weakness for him, but he's had a good week here. Let's see if he can finish it off with a great free skate.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what he does here. He has a quad slant as the second jump in the program, but I just wonder if he's going to play it safe or whether he's going to pull out all the stops here. First jump is the triple axel. And that was probably the best one I've seen him do all week.
triple loop jump. Important to regain your confidence after missing an element to come right back out and hit the next one to get you on track. Philippe Candeloro, Alexei is going to attempt a second triple axel.
That was just a double, but he went into combination into another triple toe loop. Year. And choreographically, it just doesn't match what Kurt is going to come out here with tonight.
But to his credit, as he goes into the final spin in this program, he certainly has performed a much stronger performance than we saw him deliver at the European Championships. And I think he's serving notice that if he gets the right conditions and the right training opportunities, he has got to be factored in for next year's Olympics.
Absolutely. Just 19 years of age. Alexei Urmanov, remember, he's third. If he wins the free skate, he wins gold. And he certainly has put some pressure on the two men ahead of him, Mark Mitchell and Kurt Browning.
Here's a beautiful triple axel. Nice tight rotation in the air. And that was just a solid landing.
And here we see his attempt at the quad. It's nice, good hang time, but he's just can't quite start breaking out soon enough to push the landing through.
And we'll have the marks for Urmanov when we return. Here are the technical marks for Alexei Urmanov. 5.4 from the United States and Norway, up to 5.7 from 4 of the judges. Bart, we haven't seen in the last few years, haven't seen contenders try the quad. Were you surprised he did?
I really was, but to his credit, he went out there tonight and he really went for it. If that was me out there, I may have played it a little bit safer and gone for the clean run-through.
Now the artistic marks of 5'8" from France, 5'9" from Russia. He has 5 first-place ordinals, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and Urmanov of Russia is the leader with 5 skaters to go. Kurt Browning and Coach Louis Stong going over last-minute details as he gets set to skate for gold and cap a comeback. His parents are here in the audience to cheer him on tonight, and Browning's success is a family affair. Albertville, France, the Olympic experience bittersweet for the 3-time world champion. But when times are tough, there's always family to lean on.
I went home. I stayed home for like 2 weeks at a time. I took a month off after Stars and Ice to really let myself start thinking. It took really 2 or 3 months before I really knew what I wanted to do. And he was washing the truck, and I was throwing snowballs at a power pole. And the more I thought about, the harder the snowballs were throwing at that power pole, and he just kept washing and just throwing ideas back at me, and I guess that was the family meeting. And it was that right then where I really decided that I wanted to still compete amateur. He's a great dad, and he's a good friend. And, you know, we took it on as a family, and we're still doing it that way. We still make decisions together, still call them, and, you know, they're my friends. I wouldn't go anywhere without them. There's more to it than just getting an Olympic medal. I didn't get a chance to compete in the Olympic Games healthy. They really, like, the injury really took the Olympics away from me. Not necessarily the medal, because you have to earn that. But I mean, the whole idea of the Olympic Games and being right in the middle and fighting for Canada and the whole thing that I worked so hard for, when I couldn't skate, it's all gone. And I want that chance back. I just want the chance. I don't necessarily care if I guarantee a medal or anything. I want that chance to prove to be there, to fight.
Already one major victory for the Browning family this year. Kurt's dad, Dewey, was able to make the trip to Prague after recovering from cancer surgery, and we're glad to report that he's doing well. We'll be back with Kurt's skate in a moment from Prague. Here he is, the leader after the technical program, going for a world championship quad. Kurt Browning of the Granite Club in Toronto and the Royal Glenora in Edmonton.
Well, before the technical program, we talked about being cool under pressure. In the movie Casablanca, Humphrey Bogart was perhaps the epitome of cool. Let's see how cool Kurt's interpretation is.
Well, the key to this making this program work will be the jump. He's opening with the triple axel combination, and he pulls it off. But the jump he's been having the most difficulties with all week is the triple lutz. Well, even with a two-footed triple Lutz and a couple of triple combinations that were missing, this program was a masterpiece.
Well, a solid performance, no doubt, Barb. You mentioned the two-footed triple Lutz. I hope the fact that he didn't get a triple combination in doesn't affect his marks too badly, because it would have been nice to have seen at least one. And as there are still some contenders to skate, there would have been that extra ace in his pocket.
Well, Kurt in the past has always been known for his jumping. Here's a look at a beautiful triple axel. Pulls that up, goes straight up into the double jump. But he has developed every single element of his skating now. Not just the jumps anymore.
Here we see the triple flip. Little outside on the landing, but he sits on it, lets it come through, and pulls it off. There's Donald Jackson applauding one world champion, applauding another.
Pretty sweet. I like this. That's what I got for you. From Wade, your brother. From Wade? Yeah, from Wade. He wants you to put it on. Let's get the mark.
Bogey tie from his brother.
Hi, Tina in England. Wherever England is. Hello, Tina. You did well.
Technical marks for Kurt Browning, 5.7s and 5.8s. We saw Donald Jackson a moment ago. He wants a picture in Prague with Donald, and boy, he'd love to have it with both of them wearing gold medals.
That was pretty exciting.
Well, it appears that the change in coaching has really worked for Kurt. He's developed a whole new side to his skating, and it's just so enjoyable to watch.
And here come the artistic marks, and you can hear the roar, a 6 from the French judge. 5 9s from 7 of the judges, 5 8 from the American judge. First place marks, and almost no room for Mark Mitchell of the United States.
Pretty exciting stuff. I don't know.
Can you win a gold medal and an Oscar in the same year? Browning's a great actor, and what an athlete. Welcome back to Prague. Here's Elvis. Interesting comments after his disappointment to the technical program as he clears off some extra flowers from the ice. He said, you know, they call me a Terminator and a machine, but I'm human. And he was distraught yesterday, but there was a little bounce in his walk again today.
Well, Elvis has really been working on the style of his skating this year, and some believe that maybe he was thinking about it too much yesterday and not enough about the jumps.
What I'm curious to see is, after a performance like he had in the technical program, a skater tends to go one of two ways. They come out here very determined to prove that yesterday was not normal for them, or they pull back. They're nervous, and they feel like, oh, that could happen again, and I hope it doesn't. So I hope we see some attack here. We have a camera angle that will show us that. if he didn't hit those bores, he was within inches of them. Triple axles, one in combination. Elvis gets the bonus point for having done a triple axle, triple toe earlier in this program. And up to this point, it has been flawless.
Well, it certainly reminds me of a performance we saw last year at the Olympics. But somehow this year, I think he might get some marks for it.
Triple axle, triple toe combination. And when Elvis lands this, he did touch the boards. He had to push off them to stay in the ring. But I think you're right, Bart. Kurt has got 5 years of maturity on Elvis. In that time, he's developed into a complete skater. This program, as well skated as it was, doesn't have the sophistication or the charisma that Kurt's program had. But I'm willing to bet that we're going to see a split panel when these judges' marks come up.
But the thing is, this is Elvis's personality. We saw Kurt's personality out there too.
What a personal triumph for him. He sat on a chair last night for an hour and didn't move. He couldn't believe what happened to the technical program. But the Terminator's back here in the technical marks, and they are 5, 8, and 9. Michelle and Doug Lee, Ushi Kessler there. He had to spend the night in his room with a stomach ailment last night. Missed Isabella Lloyd's gold medal skate. And a lot's been said about the rivalry, but Kurt Browning spent an hour with him last night knowing he wasn't feeling well and was down. Now, the artistic marks, and they do come down. 5-4 from the Norwegian judge. Well, that's the battle he's got to fight, and he's a little surprised. Second place marks from 7 of the judges. 2/3, but he's back in the medal hunt because he's ahead of Urmanov. So Elvis can perhaps match last year's bronze and maybe do better. We'll be back with more from Prague after this. Another great night at the Sport Hall in Prague. In 4th place after the technical program, 1 slot ahead of Elvis Stojko. Eric Milo, the 4-time French national champion. And like his teammate Candeloro, remember in Helsinki, he came from well off to get a medal from 7th to 2nd. So he's dangerous in the long skate as well.
Well, Eric is the type of skater that can really make an impression in the practice, but very often he struggles with his nerves on the game day.
What normally happens is it seems to take him about 40 seconds to the first minute of any program to really get into it, and then once he settles in, he can be dynamite.
That's exactly what he did at Europeans. He doubled out of the combination.
Triple flip, double loop combination. And as happened at Europeans, he struggled in the opening, seems to have settled down. Let's see if it can continue.
performance. I really do not think that'll be enough to keep him in fourth spot. I think he just opened the door for Elvis to pass through.
Well, as I look down the running order in terms of elements which he executed in the qualifying round, he moved a lot of elements around. Here's one of the better ones that he did was his triple flip double loop combination. But by moving elements around in the program, it doesn't help you concentrate because you've got to rethink each setup, and in terms of helping you stay consistent with everything, it's a challenge. And I think perhaps it's a coaching error more than anything else.
But the fact that he doubled out on the jumps at the very beginning, that's a real sign of nerves.
Eric Milo's marks when we return to Prado. At the World Championships in the men's event was back in 1971. Patrick Pirot winning a silver, and it looks like the weight will be at least another year. Milo's technical marks just up to 5.3, but well below the leaders. So already Stojko has passed Alexei Urmanov and will pass Milo. It looks like another double medal situation for Canada. What colors they might be remains to be seen.
I think Eric needs a new strategy in his long program. I think perhaps he should start with the easy jumps, ease his way into the program, then get to the big jump.
Now the artistic marks, and they go up 5.6 from France and Russia, but the best ordinals on the board are 2.6 from those two judges all the way up to 10th, and Milo has now dropped down to 6th and will finish even behind his teammate Philippe Candeloro. Challenge Kurt Browning in second place after the technical program from the United States. Here is Mark Mitchell, who accomplished one of his goals for the year in that technical program with a perfect 6. But the pressure here is for the Americans to have a top 3 finish so they can send 3 to the Olympics, because the feeling is Brian Boitano will have one of at least 2 spots. So Mark can do himself a real favor by a top 3 finish tonight for this year and next.
Well, the key here for Mark will be the triple axel. He has struggled with it, and he is really going to need that if he wants to stay in hunt for a medal.
I also think it will set the tone for this entire program.
He just doesn't get enough height. He just can't complete the rotation in time before he lands.
And that's been a complaint against Mark Mitchell since he very first came on the scene.
There's the second mistake. That was supposed to be a triple flip. It was a double.
And it's now looking like a 1-2 Canada finish. Mark must finish at least 3rd in the free skate for a silver. If he's 4th, it's another historic night for Canada.
Barb, this program was very reminiscent of his nationals performance. As I said at the top, if he doesn't hit that triple axel at the very beginning of the program, it sets the tone for the rest of the program. Mark doesn't seem to have the ability to pull it back in and deliver a strong performance from there on. He just doesn't start to get out of that lift and that jump in time.
And we'll be back in Prague for the marks for Mark Mitchell after this. Welcome back to Prague, where Mark Mitchell just asked his coach, Ron Gladstone, was that enough for a medal? The first set of marks don't look like it, 5.2 to 5.6. He came in the technical program second. But if he finishes fourth or lower in the free skate, he is out of the medals.
Well, he just really needed to go for all those triples because he doesn't have the repertoire that the others do. When he doubled out, I think that's where he lost the bronze medal.
Second set of marks are up now, 5.5s to 5.8s, but he only has 3 third-place ordinals, and it's going to be a 1-2 Canada finish. Kurt Browning first, Elvis Stojko second, and Alexei Urmanov third for the second year in a row. The Americans are shut out of the medal race here.
For the first time in history, Canadians stand 1-2 in men's figure skating. Kurt Browning the gold, Elvis Stojko the silver. Kurt, let me begin with you. The program was Casablanca. They say play it again, Sam. You played it again for a 4th time. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. It couldn't happen in a better place. We've just been thinking about it all week. I knew that we had 2 chances at a gold medal. Got a little scared about the 1-2, but Elvis pulled through for us. And basically, I was thinking about it all week and tried to forget about it during the real thing. Now I can relax and enjoy it. Prague, Donnie did it. I can't believe it.
I talked to you after your first medal in Paris in '89. I remember it well. It's a very different Kurt Browning, though, we saw tonight.
Oh, yeah, tonight is more purposeful Kurt Browning, I guess. In Paris, I was just bouncing off the walls, maybe a little bit like this guy was. And now, you know, I have a theme and an idea, and I'm trying to get something across, you know, so far it's working.
Speaking of bouncing off the walls, the word yesterday was Elvis had left the building. He's back in a big way today. Congratulations. Was it tough to go after Kurt?
Well, it reminded me a bit of Canadians. I went out there and I saw the marks and I saw the 6-0 for artistic, and I think this feels like Canadians. This feels like feels the same way, and it feels good. So when we drew yesterday and Kurt was ahead of me, I went, seems like Canadians. It's sort of building up. So I went out there and I just said, put what happened yesterday behind me. Those things happened. Went out there, did my thing, and hopefully got the old 1-2.
Kurt, I talked to Isabel and Lloyd last night about 92 being a tough year. It was even tougher with you, or for you, with the injury, not making the medal podium in Albertville. Put this into perspective for me.
Well, basically, I took a big chance at coming back. I mean, I had a great opportunity to go professional, and that's what I really wanted to do from the bottom of my heart. The Olympics were too close, and I just sort of felt like I was leaving some of my best skating behind. And I knew there was no guarantee, especially even in my own country, to be Canadian champion, but I thought, I can be a better skater, so I want to come back and do that. And the jumps almost were secondary to me this year. I just wanted to be the better skater.
You had a great free program at the Olympics, didn't get a medal. Does this make up for it?
I think so. Overall, it's, you know, yesterday was kind of wild. I was sitting back going, oh boy, what's happening here? Skated good in the long and in the runoffs, and came here and did the short, and wasn't nervous, but just didn't click the way I wanted to. And now it's all over. It feels good, and you know, the 1-2 that everyone was talking about, I'm glad that we did it for ourselves and we did it for Canada, and I think it's great.
All right, hang on. Only 4 Canadian men have won gold in history. The first was this man, Donald Jackson, in this very building in 1962.
Congratulations, guys. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Super.
Thanks.
Our dream came true.
Before the competition, the 3 of you were sitting together behind our booth. What advice did you give these guys?
I just told them to go out there and have a good time and do the best they could, and they did it. They did it. Elvis came up and pulled up the second. I knew it was possible, and you did it. I'm so happy. And you certainly held that first place.
You've always been an incredible help to my career, except for tonight. I thought of you going into the triple Lutz. I couldn't get you out of my mind, and that's the one thing I really messed up.
All right,
you're really inspiring.
All right, listen, we got to go. You got your marks instantaneously, very quickly. It took you a while to get your marks, a lot longer back in '62.
It was at least a half an hour after I was backstage waiting for the results. We didn't have computers in those days, and I didn't know whether I had won until they announced my name. So you guys you know. And we all know in Canada. Congratulations.
We have computers. In 1993, the world champion for the 4th time, Kurt Browning. Silver to Elvis Stojko, world champion in 62, Don Jackson. Big night for Canada. Chris, back to you.
Thanks, Brian. Another magical night at the Sport Hall in Prague for Canada. Our men deliver a 1-2 knockout punch to the rest of the world. Alexei Urmanov wins the bronze medal, and there's Mark Mitchell 4th, Candeloro, France 5th. Marcus Kristensen, another top 10 finish for Canada. Back with the historic medal ceremonies right after this. Here in Prague, a lot of changes this year for Kurt Browning. A new home base, new coach Louis Stong, new choreography, but a familiar position right at the top of the podium, Brian.
And you know, it's interesting. He wins by 1.5 points. That is his biggest margin ever. He beat Petrenko at Halifax in 91, Munich in 92 by 0.5. And you talk about courage. We talked about Isabelle Brasseur coming back. The Canadian fans very appreciative of the effort put in by Stojko. Urmanov now will get the bronze. I saw Stojko, Chris, in the hotel after the technical performance yesterday. He was absolutely crushed, but how he came back, to me, is one of the great stories here in 1993.
Certainly is. Now, Kurt Browning won his first world gold medal at age 22. Remember, Elvis is just 21. And now he has a bronze and a silver for Alexei Urmanov. This is his first world championship medal.
One of 4 Canadian men to win gold. Don Jackson started it here in 62. Don McPherson at Cortino d'Ampezzo in 1963. Brian Orser at Cincinnati in 87. Browning in 89, 90, 91, and now 1993.
Wonder what it is about this rink. Maybe we should have Canadians here with the great Canadian results here at the Sport Hall in Prague. Well, a night they won't forget, nor will the great contingent of Canadian fans who show up each year at the World Championships. They'll remember this for the rest of their lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the second time in as many nights, our national anthem. No question, the night belongs to Canada. For only the second time in figure skating history, Canadians have won 2 gold at the same World Championships, both times occurring in this very building. Don Jackson in the men's, Otto and Marie Jelinek in the pairs in 1962. But you know what's interesting? This is the first time in history Canadians have finished 1-2 in the same event. They now have 2 gold here. Kurt Browning tonight, and of course Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler last night. Browning saying, I want to see these pictures forever.
Last year, Philippe placed 9th at the World Championships with a pretty wild and inconsistent performance. But in only 1 year, he has matured to become one of the strongest forces from Europe. Placing 5th, with his personal flair, he's an interesting man to watch.
Conan the Barbarian. Philippe Candeloro. That enormously popular performance by the Parisian. The final free program pushed Candeloro to 5th overall behind Kurt Browning, Elvis Stojko, Alexei Urmanov, and Mark Mitchell.